A Town Called Terror, issue number 2 from Image Comics. So this is a series written by Steve Niles and artwork done by Szymon Kudrowski. I probably butchered that name, and if so, I'm sorry. I will say, first off, about the artwork, beautiful. I've never seen any of Zymon's stuff before. This is the very first time I'm seeing his artwork, but it is really freaking good. I'm an instant fan just from this. The drawing is great. He also does the coloring, I'm assuming, because there's no colored by credit. It just says art by, so I'm assuming he did everything. The coloring is fantastic, like the use of the different shades of red mixed in with the black and just the shadows and the way he plays with them. It's great. Like the artwork really is a huge selling point for this series so far. Now, when it comes to Steve Niles, I will say, I don't know if I'll say I'm a fan of Steve Niles. I know his big claim to fame is the 30 Days of Night, which I'll be honest, I didn't give a crap for that series whatsoever. I watched the movie. It was bad. I tried to read the comics. Didn't care for it. I will say, though, I'm a huge fan of his Cal Chronicle series, Criminal Macabre. I love all of his stuff in that series. I have all of the comics. I have the novels. They're really freaking good. I have read other stuff by Steve Niles, and I'll say the thing with Steve Niles is that he doesn't really tend to do long series. Most of his stuff tends to be anywhere from 3 to 5, maybe 6 issues at the most. And they always tend to end with the end ? As if he's going to do a follow-up. But it's like, no, that's actually the end because he never does a follow-up to any of his short stuff, it seems. Other than the Cal Chronicles and 30 Days of Night, I have never really seen him do any follow-ups to any other series, which is kind of a shame because here's the thing. His stuff is really fast-paced. And I think it's because he's trying to tell a lot in very few issues. Like I said, most of his issues are like 3 issues, maybe 4 issues long. And then he has the occasional 5 and the very rare 6 issues. So it's like he's trying to shove a whole entire story into only 3-4 issues. And because of that, you don't really get to feel any emotional sympathy with the characters. I mean, people die and it's just like, okay, whatever. Like, there's no connection. It's just boom, 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 pot. Move on to the next, move on to the next. Okay, we got to keep on going. There's no time to breathe. We just got to keep on going. And the funny thing is that this is the exact opposite. While everything else I've read from him, minus the Cal Chronicles, has been very fast-paced, this series is very slow-paced. It's very much a slow burn. So before we dive into reviewing issue number 2, I'll just do a quick recap of issue number 1 for anyone who hasn't read and stuff. Issue number 1, we have, I'm assuming it's Frankenstein. We basically have like this scientist show up into this laboratory, and there's this torso, this member torso with no arms, no legs, no head. And then this guy plays some music, and he starts attaching body pieces to this torso. And then all of a sudden, the body wakes up and asks, so how was my funeral? And then we have our main character, and his name is Henry West, and he's married, and he has a wife named Julie, and they're very much in love. And then one day, these men break into his house. They shoot his wife with a tranquilizer, putting her out, and then they kidnap Henry West. And it turns out that these men work for his father. And it turns out his father was the dismembered corpse that we saw. And we see him, and these men take Henry through. It looks like, I don't know if it's like a portal or what, but all of a sudden they're in this like different dimension, and they're in a town called Terror, hence the name of this issue. And Henry, throughout all this, he kind of talks about his family and how his brother and sister were okay. His mom was okay. His dad was a real piece of garbage. And eventually he just got tired of this family, and he didn't want to be around them anymore. So he ran away. He went to the human realm, found a woman, and fell in love, got married. And so now it's like, it's the whole mafia thing. I thought I was out, but then they pulled me back in. So his family has now pulled Henry back into the family life because they need something from him. Meanwhile, his wife is worried sick about him. She is trying to figure out like what happened to her husband who kidnapped her. She hires a private investigator who doesn't believe her at first, but then he goes and does some investigation. He realizes that basically the house cameras went static when the men broke into their house and kidnapped Henry. So then the private investigator went to all the other nearby houses and stores and tried to see if they can find footage of these kidnappers. And he realized that all their cameras went static at the same time. So now he's like, okay, I wasn't really believing you at first. I was kind of thinking maybe your husband just ran away or whatever, like he was done with you. But now none of this is making any sense. So now I believe that there's something up with your husband. I'm gonna see if I can help you. And that's kind of it. Issue number 2, again, look at this freaking artwork. Look at this. Like, I love just the way they did the splash page with the name of the series, A Town Called Terror, and just like the coloring and stuff like that. It's just so cool. I'm probably going to use this as my thumbnail. But yeah, we have Henry. He's back in his family home, and he doesn't want anything to do with this life, obviously. He hates his dad, and he has a conversation with his dad, and we realize that his dad has died multiple times before, and he's always found ways to come back. First, it was like a group of witches brought him back. The last time it was the Frankensteins. He like made a deal with them, and they brought him back. And he doesn't know how many times he's going to be able to come back. And he basically wants his son to kind of take over the family business. What exactly the family business is, I have no idea because they haven't told us yet. But he wants his son, because his son Henry, he's the oldest. He's the oldest child. It's his job to take on his dad's legacy. And Henry's like, no, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, plus, like, how dare you kidnap me and keep me from my wife? You took my phone. I need to be able to contact her and at least tell her I'm okay. Like, she's worried sick. But the dad's like, no, how dare you like leave the family and go and mingle with the humans? Eventually, he says, your mom's in trouble. And Henry's like, well, why don't you ask Lilith or Scott to help? And Lilith and Scott are his siblings. And he says, well, your siblings are less reliable than you. I need someone of your skills. And Henry says, I quit. And the father says, well, you can never quit on family. So we have a little bit of thing here where it's like, what exactly did you quit? Like, what exactly is it that you do? I'm kind of curious. But Henry is like, I'll think about it. So he leaves, and he heads into a bar that his sister owns. So he goes to the bar. He's talking to his sister. Starts asking, like, do you know about mom? Yeah. Are you going to help? I just want to get back to my life. Have you seen Scott? And she's like, he's over there playing pool. And he gets up to go see his brother when this Frankenstein-looking character shows up. I'm assuming Frankenstein's maybe like a faction and rather than just one thing. And before anyone points out, I know that Frankenstein is actually the doctor's name and not the monster's name. But that's what they call them here. They call him the Frankenstein. So I'm assuming this is a Frankenstein because this is basically a dude filled with a bunch of stitches. But yeah, he attacks Henry, and Henry beats the crap out of him, rips his arm off, beats him with it, and basically taunts everyone else, like, anyone else want to mess with me. And yeah, the rest of this bar is filled with demons. So somehow this family is connected with the supernatural. Obviously, somehow this family is supernatural in some way because, dad's constantly dying and coming back to life, which means Henry is able to fight these demons. So it's like, okay, what exactly is Henry? What's this family? Who has the mom? What's going on? But yeah, that's pretty much A Town Called Terror so far. And you may be wondering, well, Pirate, like, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the story? It doesn't seem like you gave us all that much. I gave you basically everything. That's the problem with this series, is that it's not just slow paced. It is really super slow paced. It is a slow as hell burn. Like, we are doing not even turtle time. We're doing snail time when it comes to the pacing of this series, which, yeah, I'm going to keep with the series because, like I said, it interests me. I like supernatural stuff. The artwork is freaking, it's like one of the best artwork I've ever seen in a series. Like, it's so freaking good. I love the hell out of it. But the pacing, it's so funny because, like I mentioned, the problem with Steve Niles is that his stuff is so fast paced. Well, his miniseries. Everything else I've read by Steve Niles, like, I've enjoyed them, but I feel like they could be so much better, and it's basically because of pacing issues. He's way too fast paced that he doesn't give us time to breathe. He doesn't give us time to, like, really appreciate the characters and their struggles and their goals, and like really get to see what their personalities are like. It's like everything is kind of just rushed. Whereas here, it's the complete opposite. Everything is slow as hell. In this, you can probably have these first 2 issues combined into one. It's literally just the very first issue. The dad's getting his body parts back together. Henry gets kidnapped, and he's driving, and the kidnappers drive him to his family home. His wife calls the cops because she's worried about him. That's it. That's all that happens. In this issue, the kidnappers drive him to his home. He meets his dad. His dad tells him, like, hey, your mom's missing. I need you to go save her. He goes to a bar. He has a fight. That's it. So there is no, like, there's not enough. So I'm hoping this isn't going to be another Steve Niles 4 or 5 issue miniseries, because I'm like, if that's the case, we're already halfway through the series, and there's nothing here. So I'm hoping this is like, at least something like, give us like 12, 13 more, hopefully. I'm hoping this is like an ongoing thing, is what I'm trying to say. I'm hoping this is an ongoing series, and just pick it up a little bit. Again, it's really slow, so it's kind of hard to recommend it. I like it, but it could be so much better, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, there's enough here to have me interested and to have me keep going, but holy hell, like if it wasn't for the artwork, I might just say there's not enough here to really keep me going. But I'm intrigued a little bit. The artwork helps a lot. The artwork is that good. It really carries this series. I've enjoyed some of his stuff in the past. Like he had Hyde, he had Epilogue. What was some other stuff? The Philip Crone. He has series that I've enjoyed, but even those series, they could have been better. Like, they were just too fast paced, too much trying to get shoved into very little issues. But here, it's the complete opposite. It's not too fast paced. It's too slow paced. There's nothing happening. But holy hell, please speed up the pacing just a little bit. Like, let's go a little bit faster here. There's not enough, especially for 2 issues. Like, what you have in 2 issues, you can easily have fit into 1 issue. I told you everything that's going on so far. It's literally just that. But there you go. There's a town called Terror. My God, is it slow as hell. So hopefully the pacing picks up. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.